been sticking around since earlier in the show, this is something I showed you. This is what we call a QT graph. It basically gives you a vertical profile of our atmosphere, and this red line is temperature, the green line is our dew points. As you go right, you go to a higher value, vice versa as you go left and up, that's up in the atmosphere. And you'll notice here, right above the surface at the bottom there, you'll notice a bit of a change in our atmosphere there. The dew points go down, the temperatures go up. This is what we call the elevated mixed layer. This is from a sounding we saw yesterday, and this is the warm nose, and we call it warm nose because, I mean, look at it, looks like a nose. And if you look at there, the dry air is because those dew points just drop off. And this is why yesterday wasn't too much when it comes to severe threat, wasn't too high, we weren't too confident in it, but it did erode a bit, and we did start to see a bit of shower action and some storm action. Most of it stayed in northern Minnesota here. This is going from yesterday 2 p.m. up into midnight, so you'll notice it, especially around International Falls, and even down here south of the Iron Range, we started seeing a little bit of action. But now we got to turn to what we're going to see today, because the system up here is still bringing that cold front right on through, and we're going to continue to see some storms into today. And this action is going to be shifting into northwest Wisconsin and the UP. You can see here, that's where we expect some of those storms, and they can be severe at times. Again, another marginal risk, but today we do have a little bit more confidence that there might be some isolated severe storms to keep a lookout for. Large hail and some damaging winds will be those threats, so especially if you're in northwest Wisconsin and the UP, just something to keep an eye on as we get into our Friday. And it's not going to be the end of the rain chances, because as we get into the weekend, we're going to get the backside of this system. It's going to bring some isolated to scattered showers, mainly to northern Minnesota and the UP, but as you can see from this model run, all of us have a chance of seeing a little bit of shower action this weekend, so both Saturday and early on Sunday. Well, it shouldn't ruin any weekend plans. It should be pretty minimal with the rain. But the temperature is going to be a little more dramatic of a change, because you can see here, highs today, once again, we're going to be getting into the upper 70s, low 80s, so it's going to be another warm day like it was yesterday. But pulling this forward into Saturday, notice the temperatures drop. We're looking at highs in the 60s now, and this is because we're going to be seeing those northwesterly breezes behind that cold front, bringing some quite cool can, and these winds can be pretty blustery at times. We're talking some gusts getting over 25 miles per hour at times. And on Sunday, that's where we expect the coolest temperatures. Highs are going to be only in the lower 60s, maybe even staying in the upper 50s, and that means we're putting probably like 15 degrees below the seasonal average right now, so it's going to be feeling very much like fall. And it's not just the high temperatures, so low temperatures as well. We're going to see them dip into the 40s, maybe even 30, especially as we start getting into Tuesday morning. So we might have to keep an eye on potential frost advisories coming out, because it doesn't have to get, it just needs to get close to freezing for some frost to develop. And now we're going to be looking at what's coming up in as we get into next week, because after the cool spell we're going to have, we're going to start warming up gradually, getting back to normal once we get into next week. And you can see that as on our 7-day forecast here. And you also notice as we get into next week, we're going to start seeing some sunny conditions make their way in as well.